Touching base with the management of TeamLease Services, Ashok Reddy, who's MD and CEO and co-founder, joins in to talk more about their numbers. Great set of numbers, Ashok, and you're back on historical growth trajectory. In general staffing, after a lull, while IT staffing and HR services have also contributed rather well. So basically, all your verticals seem to be performing or at least seeing a comeback in growth traction. Do you see this momentum continuing into the second half of the year as well, or this is seasonally a strong quarter, so that's what worked for you?
No, actually the seasonality kicks in the second half of the year. So I think the aspect of the traction to growth has come back. We have a lot more clients, a lot more open positions across sectors and across the various verticals. So I think the momentum of growth should continue into the second half of the year. Like we had said, last year was relatively soft on the associate growth. We've covered that gap in this year. The margin improvement story continues by virtue of productivity from the internal team. The higher margin businesses, which are vertical focused or HR services, have also started contributing, as you had mentioned. So I think largely on track to the aspect of growth, margin improvement, and the capital frugality aspect as usual from our side.
Okay, how favorable is the festive season for you?
We have about 80% cash conversion, free flow cash conversion, and typically the aspect of our cash funding for salaries has also come down this year. So we are at about a 16% funding of salaries. So the working capital requirement also effectively comes down on that count.
Right. Ashok, also you're taking a lot of
overall receivables, whether it's on the staffing business or the other business. Yeah.
Okay. It seems that you're taking a lot of efforts to pivot the portfolio away from placement-linked training services towards grant-based training services. What's the rationale behind this, and how will the change in mix over the next 12 to 18 months influence your earnings?
So the placement-linked training had an element of a collections problem. I think the grant-based training programs effectively give you an advance. You utilize the monies for the various trainings and effectively provide a utilization certificate to offset the advance that has been given. So I think the largest benefit that we have had by moving to the grant-based programs is more a function of a collections control and the ability to effectively ensure the element of the costs are offset with the revenues that are already in. So I think preference, after having worked with multiple models on the training front, is to be with the grant-based, but specific programs as they get rolled out by various state governments or central government schemes, we will evaluate and take a call on that. But I think overall we have a healthy pipeline now of the various mandates, and I think we'll see a strong second half also on the training business front.
Right. Give us your sense on how you are looking at expanding margins from here. Is there scope for further expansion?
Oh, we strongly believe on that front. So I think we've continuously for the last 2 years shown an element of productivity enhancement. We continue to make the investments in technology which will aid us towards the element of a productivity play. Again, this year we've had no headcount increase in the core employees to reflect the associate growth that we've had. So quarter on quarter, I think we are able to show the productivity increase, and our belief is that the headroom for that to continue to play out into the next many quarters still continues to be there. So it's a key area that we will be focusing on from a technology perspective, a process perspective, and a people perspective to drive up, because that effectively is one of the key drivers to margin improvement.
Okay, good to hear that then, Ashok. Thanks much for taking the time out.